Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra George Sturgis. Welcome to my channel, Authentic Beauty Handmade Dolls and Crafts. In this video, I am going to show you how to make a dress for Jewel, your sock rag doll. Thank you so much for watching. I purchased these fat quarters, I think fabric from Joann's or maybe from Walmart, but I think I bought these from Joann's, and they were 97 cents on sale. Okay, can you imagine 97 cents on sale? And I think they were like 30 or 40% off. I thought, like, oh my God, is this real? So what I love about them, I think this is what people use to make for quilting. But what I love, especially for making clothes for the sock rag doll, is that the fat quarters or fabric quarters are very, they're small. You don't have to waste a lot of fabric, and they're almost paper-like. And they love my fabric fuse glue. I mean, like, they were meant to be best friends. So when you glue it, it's like almost like gluing paper. Within about 10 or 15 minutes, it is completely dry. So for most of this dress, I'm using my fabric fuse. I love it so much, and I am gluing the dress together, and I use my sewing machine to sew the ruffles. I started to use my hot glue gun, but it wasn't plugged in, and it wasn't hot already, and you know I'm very impatient. So I decided to go ahead and use my sewing machine. And I probably should have matched the thread better, but I thought, you know what, I just want to get this over with because I want to see how it looks. And so just some fabric fuse glue right there, and you're going to use just the fabric quarters. And I love the colors that come in. Oh my God, I couldn't decide. Like, I didn't know what to buy, and so I just bought a bunch of different colors. And I didn't have an idea pretty much of what type of dress I was going to make for Jewel. But then I said, well, when she told me she was 9 years old, I thought, okay, this is good. I'm probably going to make her an overall dress because it's youthful and it's fun. But anyway, I love this dress. I love the way it turned out. The colors are fabulous and bright and sunny, and I had so much fun making this dress. And it's so easy. Look at that pattern. I mean, a first grader could have made that pattern, right? That's what I love about it. It's very, very simple. I am using my dowel stick to help me turn the overall dress inside out, just so I can push the corners out so it would have a nice smooth finish, you see. And oh God, isn't that beautiful? Look how easy that was. And so the reason I decided to use two pieces of fabric quarters for the pattern is to give it a little bit more weight, but also to give it that pop of color that I love. I love unexpected color, or that, you know, something that's not so matchy. And so I used it for the flap in the front of her bib, and I used it throughout the dress for like the pockets. I am now using the fabric fuse glue on the straps for her dress, and I am just, you know, I was going to try to turn it inside out, but I could not find my turner. Oh goodness. And I couldn't, and I didn't want to use the little wire that I used to flip things in and out because I thought it may tear the fabric because it's so thin. So I decided to just, since the paper is like the fabric quarters are like paper, I simply flattened it with my hands, and I kept the seam towards her shoulder. I don't know if that makes sense. So the part where I glue it together, I just folded it so that it was facing her shoulder so that you could not see it. So it would look very nice and neat. I am now setting the straps aside for her dress, and I am going to prepare the ruffles for the bottom of her overall dress. So I just took pretty much a strip of fabric, and guys, you know I don't measure. You know, if I have to measure, it infuriates me. So I took a strap of fabric that I thought would be an appropriate length for the dress. Of course, you can measure. I'm quite sure most people do. And I am just folding it. See, I'm just folding it over and I'm pinning it in place. And I'm going to do that for the entire strip. I needed another piece because the fabric quarters are not very long. However, if I had bought fabric, you know, I probably would not have had to add a piece. And then when I added the piece, I can't believe I used black thread to sew it together. So I was like, dang, why did I do this? You know what? I should have used my hot glue gun. But you know what? It wasn't plugged in. But anyway, so I'm just going to pin my little ruffles in place. I am just guesstimating the space between them, but I know there are people who take out their measuring stick or tape and they just measure it. I feel like it looks very nice. After I finish with my ruffles, I go ahead and sew across the very top. You know, the part where the fabric is not together, I sew it together right there. And then I just go ahead and use my fabric fuse glue. Yes, my fabric fuse glue to glue it to the bottom of her dress. It's a beauty. I mean, I thought about sewing it, but I said, no, because you know, I have to be careful about the thread color that I'm using, and it may not be a perfect match. And I just thought, no, fabric fuse glue, that's going to work for Cassandra. So here I am. I'm just lining up the fabric fuse glue at the bottom, and within about 15 minutes or so, it was completely dry. And I like how nice and smooth and I don't know if the word is sharp. It looks very sharp and very professional. You know, another thing that's really cool about this dress, oh, look at it, is that you could actually use either side. You know, like, you know, just pick a side. Pick whichever way you are feeling. But I thought, nope, I want this little nice, weird pop of color. So I decided to go ahead with the layout. And so now I am flattening the straps for her dress. Like I said, you see like the part where I glued it together, I'm going to place that towards her shoulders. But the fabric, it works like a charm. Like I said, it's one step from paper. I am now gluing on her straps. I thought about sewing them on, but again, I would have to think about the thread color and what it would look like on the other side, and I just didn't want to deal with that. And the fabric fuse, to me, it really gives it a nice clean look, and I thought this is going to work perfectly. Now that my ruffles have dried at the bottom of my overall dress for my rag sock doll, I am now going to glue the top part of her bib down because I just want that nice little pop of color at the top. And the glue, like I said, it holds so nice. And see how sharp and clean that is? Now I was going to use my fabric fuse glue to sew the back of the dress together, but I decided to go ahead and sew it because I was in a hurry, and the dress was starting to look so cute. Like when I started the dress, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do, and I just decided to see what was going to happen, and I started to get really excited, and I thought, no, I'm just going to go ahead and sew the back, since I don't have to worry about anyone seeing the thread. So I'm using my pop of color fabric. I'll call this my pop of color because it's on the inside. And I'm going to make some pockets for the outside of her overall dress and put a pocket on each side, and just to, give it a little bit more, flash and ooh la la. I am using my fabric fused glue to fold down the edges for the pockets because I want it to look nice and polished. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I made the shoes for Jewel, the sock ragdoll, and yeah, and I'm finished with her now. And this is the point where I started to feel a little tiny bit sad. Like, is that weird? Remember Jewel? Not Jewel, Josephine. Remember Josephine? And the mermaid who sang with the guitar? And Maggie? Oh my God, and Shaka, my Shaka dolls, they are still naked. I don't know what to do with them yet, but I'm quite sure they'll tell me. And you know, I probably need to develop a skill in order to make them the outfit that I want for them, because this journey, I am finding that when you are ready for a task, that's when you'll be presented with the idea. Like, you know, no one is going to give me an idea on how to make a better airplane or, you know, build a ship, because I don't have that skill set. But I think that there is something I need to know about fabric or some type of medium that is going to make me very happy with the way I choose to put clothes on the Shaka dolls. So the thing that's interesting is that when I'm making my dolls, I am so in love with them. Like, I am so in love. Like, they are alive, and all I think about is what's going to happen next with them. And then now that I'm, you know, editing my videos, I'm looking at her dress. I know in the next videos I'm going to go over her shoes. And then we're probably not going to see Jewel for a while. Like, she's just going to be, you know, with my other collection of dolls. But I do want to tell the story, her story and Julian's story about their friendship. So I'm definitely going to do a video about that later before we say goodbye to her. I am now preparing to glue her pockets onto her overall dress. And I want to turn it a little bit to the side to give it a little bit more personality. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, oh my, I am like, I'm watching the video to narrate, and I am so in love. I think it's adorable. It's like, that's the word. It's just adorable. It's not my personal, you know, sexy hoochie mama style. You know, I like things that are a little bit risque, but this is interesting to me, and that's why I like making the YouTube videos, because it's taking me on a journey that I would have not otherwise taken, and it's pushing me outside of my comfort zone and how I, you know, would typically define myself as a doll artist. Look at that dress. In the back, the seams are not perfectly lined, but you know, that's okay. I'm okay with that, because I am learning that there are no such things as mistakes, because to me, the reason I say there's no such things as a mistake, because whatever you did that you call a mistake, you needed to make in order to get it right. So if you needed to make that step in order to get it right, then how could that mistake really be a mistake? Do you know what I mean? Like, even when somebody, you know, do something and they say, well, I made a mistake, I should not have cheated. Well, I think that as we evolve as human beings, we don't repeat things once we really learn the lesson. Because I think you can intellectually understand something, but it doesn't mean that your soul really understands it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there are mistakes. I think there's just steps in the learning process, and that's all it is. So basically, you know, I'm cool with her little ruffles, you know, not lining up. And the truth is, I didn't know what I was going to do with her dress or how it was going to look. I didn't have an idea. The little fabric quarters were on sale. They were 97 cents, and then they were like 30 or 40% off, and I thought it was a steal, and I didn't know what I was going to do with them. So obviously Jewel was leading me. I am now preparing to put the little jewel acrylic gems on her dress to give her a little ooh la la, and I think they were like $2.99 for a pack. And I just wanted to first place them on her pockets and around the top line them up at the top of the bib to see if I liked it before I glued it down. Now, even though it has a little sticky back, I didn't trust it, of course. So after I put it in place, I went ahead and used my fabric fused glue to glue it down so that it would remain in place. Oh my God, isn't this dress adorable? Look how it fits in the back and the front. It's absolutely adorable. I love this dress. I know there's a doll inside of you who is just dying to come to life, but only you can breathe life into her. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.